Picture this, the 18th century, a period of intellectual and philosophical development known as the Age of Enlightenment. This was an era that prized reason above all, challenging long-established traditions and dogmas. Thinkers and philosophers across Europe began to question the absolute authority of monarchies, sparking a growing dissatisfaction among the people. This was particularly palpable in France, where the monarchy's extravagant lifestyle starkly contrasted with the dire poverty of the masses. Economic challenges were mounting and the nation was on the brink of bankruptcy. The disparity between the opulent royal court and the struggling French populace was becoming untenable. The Enlightenment's call for equality, liberty, and fraternity was echoing in the hearts of the French people, setting the stage for a revolution that would forever alter the course of history. Into this volatile mix, a young Austrian princess steps onto the French political stage, her name Marie Antoinette. Born on November 2, 1755, to the powerful Habsburg Empire, Marie Antoinette had royalty in her veins. The 15th child of the formidable Empress Maria Theresa, Marie Antoinette grew up amidst the splendor and formality of the Austrian court. From a young age, she was educated in the intricate dance of courtly etiquette and the subtle art of diplomacy. However, her life was not all pomp and ceremony. She also enjoyed simple pleasures such as music, dance, and the company of her beloved pets. At the tender age of 14, Marie Antoinette's life took a dramatic turn. In a move designed to strengthen the alliance between Austria and France, she was married off to the future King Louis XVI. This political marriage propelled her onto the world stage, and the young Dauphine of France found herself navigating the complexities of the French court. It was a world of intrigue, opulence, and power plays, far removed from the relative simplicity of her Austrian upbringing. Her arrival in France marked the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with grandeur, scandal, and ultimately tragedy. From the moment she set foot in the Palace of Versailles, Marie Antoinette was thrust into a world of political intrigue and extravagance, a world that would shape her life and legacy. From the moment she arrived in France, Marie Antoinette became a symbol of the excesses of the monarchy. This Austrian princess, still in her teens, was thrust into the opulent world of French royalty, a world filled with elaborate ceremonies, grand feasts, and extravagant fashions. And Marie Antoinette, with her penchant for the finer things in life, fit right in. Her love for fashion and indulgence was legendary. She was known to commission hundreds of dresses a year, each more lavish than the last. Her hairstyle, a towering spectacle, was a testament to her extravagance. It was said that she even had a model village built in the grounds of Versailles, a rustic retreat where she could escape the formalities of court life. However, her extravagant lifestyle did not endear her to the French populace. The country was in financial straits and many of its people were living in abject poverty. To them, the Queen's ostentatious display of wealth was a slap in the face. The fact that she was unable to produce an heir for several years only added to their resentment. Despite her attempts to win the affection of the French people, her reputation as Madame Deficit stuck. She was seen as a symbol of the monarchy's disregard for the plight of the common people. Her lavish lifestyle, coupled with her inability to produce an heir, only served to fuel public resentment. As France's financial crisis deepened, so did the public's disdain for their Austrian queen. Marie Antoinette's reputation was being tarnished by a scandalous event that would forever be known as the affair of the diamond necklace. This was a plot orchestrated by a con artist pretending to be a French countess who convinced a naive cardinal that she was in the queen's favor. The con artist promised the cardinal that he could win the queen's affection by buying her an extravagant diamond necklace. The whole scheme was revealed when the bill was sent to the queen, and the cardinal was arrested for not paying. Despite the Queen's innocence, the public saw this as another example of her extravagance and disregard for the country's financial struggles. Meanwhile, the political climate in France was rapidly changing. The common people were suffering under the weight of heavy taxes, while the nobility, including Marie Antoinette, lived in opulence. The disparity was stark, and it sparked the flame of revolution. The people of France were demanding change, and they were willing to fight for it. The fall of the Bastille in July of 1789 marked the beginning of the French Revolution, a period of radical social and political upheaval in France. The once revered queen was now seen as a symbol of the detested old regime. Gossip and libelous pamphlets painted Marie Antoinette as a wasteful and ignorant queen, further turning public sentiment against her. Her attempts to negotiate with the revolutionaries were met with hostility and suspicion. She was seen as an enemy of the revolution, a traitor to the French people. The political turmoil was like a whirlpool, sucking in everything and everyone in its path. Marie Antoinette, despite her royal status and power, could not escape its pull. She found herself at the mercy of the revolutionaries, her fate hanging in the balance. The tides of revolution were rising, and Marie Antoinette was swept up in the storm. The revolution was merciless. Louis XVI was executed in January 1793, and Marie Antoinette's fate was sealed. The death of her husband marked the beginning of the end for Marie Antoinette. She was moved to the Conciergerie, a grim prison known as the antechamber of the guillotine. In this gloomy and desolate place, the once powerful queen was reduced to a mere prisoner, referred to only as Widow Capet. Her trial began in October 1793. The charges were severe and plentiful: treason, depletion of the national treasury, and conspiracy with the enemies of France, among others. The jury, swayed by the evidence and the public sentiment, declared her guilty on all counts. In the early morning of October 16th, Marie Antoinette was led to the guillotine. Clad in a plain white dress, her hair shorn short, she maintained a calm and dignified demeanor. As she mounted the scaffold, she accidentally stepped on the executioner's foot. Her last words were an apology to him. "Monsieur, I beg your pardon. I did not do it on purpose." The blade fell, and with it ended the life of the last Queen of France before the Revolution. The crowd erupted in cheers, their thirst for royal blood finally sated. A messenger raced to the National Convention to announce the news. In the halls of power there was relief. The symbol of the monarchy and the old regime was no more. Yet the echoes of her life and death would reverberate through the centuries. Marie Antoinette, the Austrian-born queen who was both loved and loathed, became a martyr in the eyes of royalists and a cautionary tale for republicans. Her story, a blend of luxury, power, and tragedy, continues to enthrall the world even today. In a sharp contrast to her life of luxury, Marie Antoinette met her end on the guillotine, a symbol of the revolution that had overthrown her. Marie Antoinette's life was a maelstrom of opulence, scandal, and tragedy. Born into privilege as an Austrian archduchess, she was thrust onto the world stage as a teenage bride in the French court. Her life was a whirlwind of grand balls, extravagant fashion, and scandalous gossip. Yet beneath the glittering facade, Marie Antoinette was a woman of flesh and blood, grappling with the weight of expectations and the relentless scrutiny of her every move. As the Queen of France, she became a symbol of the monarchy's excesses, a lightning rod for criticism as the nation's finances spiraled into chaos. Her name was synonymous with decadence, her image etched into the public consciousness as the embodiment of royal extravagance. And when the winds of revolution swept through France, it was Marie Antoinette who bore the brunt of the people's wrath. Yet Marie Antoinette's legacy extends beyond the caricature of a frivolous queen. She was a woman in a man's world, a foreigner in a hostile court, a mother striving to protect her children in the face of unimaginable danger. In her final hours, she displayed a courage and dignity that belied the frivolous image cast upon her, meeting her fate with the poise of a queen. In the centuries since her death, Marie Antoinette has been both vilified and romanticized, her life a canvas onto which countless generations have projected their own ideas and biases. To some, she remains a symbol of royal excess, a cautionary tale of unchecked power and privilege. To others, she is a tragic figure, a woman caught in the gears of revolutionary change. But perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. For Marie Antoinette was neither a villain nor a victim, but a complex individual navigating the tumultuous currents of her time. Whether vilified or romanticized, Marie Antoinette remains an enduring figure of fascination, her story a testament to the turbulent times in which she lived.